Quinn, welcome to Soccer North. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Obviously, we're going to talk footy here, but I have to bring up your After Dark kits, not so much the actual jerseys, but the photo shoot that you did. Okay, I alluded to stalking your Instagram before we started recording. How did that come to be? I saw a clip of you literally in the weeds, like waving a leaf or something.
They're not weeds, they're ferns, okay?
Okay.
So no, but it
Gotcha.
was it was a really silly photo shoot. Yeah, it was so much fun. We got to go into the park that Swan Guard's at, and we were just like
Oh.
fooling around in the forest. It felt like a little Twilight moment, but it turned out really well. I think we're all really happy with it.
No, okay, first of all, the photos were great, but I love the caption on your Instagram. It was like a Twilight shout out. I think you said something about Edward. Is this something you're super into? Because I wouldn't have made that connection.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest Twilight fan. I think living in Washington, I was like, yes, I need to go to Forks, but beyond that, it's like not really strong. But our team did just like get a kick out of making Twilight references the
It
entire
was
time. So I think that's what came from it.
okay, so let's just put that on the record that Quinn is not a Twilight super fan. Okay, some of us may have made some assumptions, but we'll correct
The
that.
fans start giving me
The
like fan art
fandom.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a burner and make it. Anyways, just had to get
Sick.
that out of the way. Let's talk about your season. Obviously, the opening weekend has come to a close after yesterday. You come into this Vancouver Rise season as the captain. You got an obvious target on your back after winning the championship last year. I'm wondering how you plan on sort of balancing the expectations of knowing your team will be the one everyone else is chasing down, but having that added responsibility of leadership.
Yeah, I think it's a fun little challenge, and I think it's something that we're actually familiar with. For some reason, last season it felt like we had the target on our back from our start. I don't know if that's just because Vancouver is super cool, or I don't know, we had like a quirky team. We weren't exactly like talking smack to any other teams, but I feel like we had like a bit of a target from the beginning, and so I think that was something that we took with us the entire season. And we had a difficult season last year. We definitely went through some highs and lows, and I think that'll be a learning point for us because that's our main goal this season is to just have a more consistent performance throughout the year. And so I think with that being our goal, if we can just continue to do that and stay on course with that, then we'll have a successful season as is. And so I think that's for us is just like staying focused on what we're doing as we did last year.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about their feeling as though as soon as, the ball was kicked for the first time, you had that target on your back even in 2025, the inaugural year. What was also established really early on in that first season was the rivalry between you and AFC Toronto. We'll get to the match you just had a few days ago, but did that feel instant as well?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I didn't talk smack. And then I remember going to media day being like,
Okay,
Toronto
except
is my
that one
biggest
thing.
rival. So for that one time that I said that one thing. No, yeah. I think it's always, even growing up in the Canadian like soccer sphere, I was on youth national teams and I remember it was like East Coast is the best, West Coast is the best. And so I always had this like banter with my Vancouver friends of a little like Toronto Vancouver
Mhm.
rivalry. So I think that was a natural thing. But yeah, it was fun how it played out last season. I think we all enjoyed it. It was pretty intense and those were some special games for us.
Yeah, totally. And that rivalry is sort of inevitable in the way that you describe it with East versus West Coast. Let's talk about opening weekend though. A lot of people had their eyes on the matchup between Vancouver Eyes and AFC as the championship rematch. This one didn't go your way. It was close, sort of back and forth. But what were the biggest takeaways for you on that one, and maybe some positives you learned as well?
Yeah, I think our team had a lot of nerves going into the game, and I think that's natural. Like opening game, we've been training 3 months now in order to get into the start of our season, and so there's a really big build up to that. But I think I was just trying to keep the consistent message of it is just our first game. We have so many games throughout the season, and I think when we look back on our first game last season, that wasn't our best performance either. It's just about building into that, and I know the league set it up so that it was like a nice little rivalry match. From the final last year, there was definitely a lot of pressure in that. But I think for us, it's just getting back to the point that that's just one game out of our season and we just want to continue to build. It was a good check to see where we're at as a team. And I think that's important for us. And we've got a lot of learnings going into our games next week. Um, so yeah, I think it was just a positive first step. Obviously, not the result that we wanted. I think our team is really disappointed in that, but I think we know that we have better of a performance in our pocket. And so I think that's a positive
Yeah,
for
I'm
us
sure.
moving forward, as we know that we can be better.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm sure I was just going to say you check the 2026 schedule and you're like, shocker, we got AFC on the home opener for the season.
I wasn't thinking that way, but I was like, oh my God, they've done it to us.
Of course, of course. The other thing I wanted to bring up with you, Quinn, was just some of the changes that were made with your side during the offseason. Some key departures, including Holly Ward, Sam Chang. How do you feel your team has adapted, in the offseason, coming into 2026, but also just week one, knowing that there are some new players integrated into this group and some players who will be dearly missed for your side?
Yeah, I think we did have some big losses in our offseason. I think, we were such a close team last season, and so it's always sad to see players go, but I think it's exciting for them to get new opportunities too. I know Holly, with my old team, I think that was nice to be able to like send her on that way and be like, here are friendly faces. But yeah, I think for us, it will take time to get these new players in. I think it's been exciting to see what they've been able to do. We have some really fun Colombian players that have come in, and they've given us like a little bit of flair and a little bit of excitement just around football in general. And I think we have players from last season who have taken some really big steps. And I think it was their first time being in a professional environment, still getting their feet. But I'm excited to see how they make some really big impacts this year. And so I think that's just going to be a natural progression for us as people are going to step into those bigger roles, and they've been given a position to do that. And I think that'll just be really exciting to see.
The last thing, Quinn, I just want to get your opinion on. You mentioned Holly going on to another opportunity with the NWSL. I can use DB and Kaylee Hunter as great examples for national team call-ups. Obviously, that was a program that you've played a really big role in. How do you think in just the first year of the NSL has this league really bolstered the national team program?
Yeah, I think it will continue to do that. And it's an amazing foundation for our national team. I think it will take time, but for years to come, it's an amazing tool for us as a country to use. I'm already seeing we have some younger players that have come in. We have Chloe, who's, just made her first camp with the U20 national team, and you can just see that talent coming through, and that she's in a daily training environment with us. I think we'll just continue to push these players to new levels at faster rates. And so it's going to be an amazing opportunity for our national team to get more players in, younger players in. Just a lot of really exciting talent in Canada, and thankfully there's a place for them to play while being at home. And I think that's really important.
Exactly. Like there's a more accessible pathway for this young talent that the country has always had, but now, yeah, they've got an easier time getting to the national team program. Quinn, appreciate you so much. Really thank you. Thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing more Twilight references from you. All right, it's not over yet.
Yeah, I'm excited for the fan art. Yeah, thanks for having me.